This is CBS.
Tonight on Eyewitness News 11, the FDIC pulls the plug on Alaska Holdings.
Donations are pouring in for a Soldotna woman needing money for a heart transplant.
And today it took its last flight.
Stay tuned.
First in Alaska, Kimberly Van Scoy, Steve McDonald, Vicki Greenland, weather, and Tom Miller, sports. Now, Eyewitness News 11.
Good evening, I'm Kimberly Van Scoy.
And I'm Ray Ettrich, sitting in for Steve McDonald, who has the night off. Alaska's economy got a much-needed shot in the arm today. Governor Steve Cooper arrived in Anchorage this afternoon to sign into law a $75 million jobs bill. The new law will put Alaskans back to work on several state projects. Anchorage will get about $26 million, which will open up about 200 jobs locally in the construction and labor fields by early summer.
They're small projects that can be done. The criteria was that they be small, labor-intensive, easily maintained. There's about 10 criteria. And with the high labor-intensified utilization, why, they will give us a shot in the arm for 4 to 6 months.
Although the new law is only a temporary substitute for permanent jobs, Cooper says it's a first step in the right direction to get the economy going again. The new law will get workers busy repairing schools, roads, and other public facilities.
Drilling waste from oil and gas production in Alaska should be exempt from federal hazardous waste requirements. That was the recommendation made by the Environmental Protection Agency to Congress. But not everyone agrees. EPA officials from Washington, D.C. were in Anchorage today hearing public testimony on the controversial issue. Lauren Maxwell was there.
Likes the idea of keeping drilling wastes under state management. He testified in firm support of the EPA recommendation.
State regulations can best address the individual needs and environmental conditions in each state. Even in one state, such as Alaska, we have found that flexibility is needed to address the variety of conditions that may be encountered.
Alaska-based oil companies agree. For them, the federal hazardous waste requirements are stricter and ultimately much more expensive. But on the other side are people who live near drilling sites on the Kenai Peninsula. Cliff Sisson moved from his home in Sterling after his drinking well became contaminated with industrial chemicals and his family started getting sick.
Respiratory illnesses. One of our daughters had aborted fetus, reptilian head, and we've had gallbladders, gallstones, urinary bladder problems, and we attribute it to the water because we were, of course, drinking it, bathing in it, and using it daily.
Environmentalists are concerned that despite a request from Governor Cooper for more money, state DEC officials won't have the manpower to enforce their own regulations. The final decision on drilling waste management will be made by Congress. Lauren Maxwell, Eyewitness News 11.
The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is ready to begin liquidating its holdings from failed Alaska banks. But FDIC says it will not be a quick sale. Catherine Campbell has details.
Properties and assumed over $240 million in loans from last year's closures of several Alaskan banks. It's been feared the FDIC would dump these loans and properties on the marketplace unless state lawmakers push to intervene and participate in the liquidation.
It's not a question of whether the FDIC will dispose of its assets. They will. The question is who will buy them. If it's just put up for sale to the highest bidder, there's the concern that because it represents a large percentage of the state's assets, that that process could lead to further worsening of the recession, further declines in the value of property.
Although lawmakers want to avoid a further depression in property values, many are hesitant to use state money to buy or help in the buyout of FDIC properties. Whatever the state decides to do, it had better decide fast, because FDIC wants to release its holdings and get on with an orderly liquidation process. Catherine Campbell, Eyewitness News 11.
Alaska Congressman Don Young was part of a high-level discussion in the U.S. House of Representatives today on opening ANWR to oil exploration. It included the Speaker of the House, and Young says all indications are that the lower house of Congress may be moving soon on ANWR.
And I also stressed the importance to the Speaker that we had to move a bill by June 1. If not, then it'd be unlikely we'd be able to pass ANWR legislation this year. And he agreed to that. So I'm very, very pleased with what the Speaker expressing his support to ANWR.
Congressman Young said another meeting is scheduled tomorrow with the House leadership.
Alaska students often have low test scores. A new report out shows why.
And a book about the Alaska wilderness is being recalled because of a potentially deadly mistake.
Those stories and more when Eyewitness News 11 continues. Stay tuned.
Eyewitness News is brought to you by Anchorage Chrysler Dodge.
On the fly, four-wheel drive, the new 88 Colt Vista and Anchorage Chrysler. Colt Vista, built by Mitsubishi Motors and imported by Dodge and Plymouth. Now with 7.8% factory financing or a $750 cash rebate. Chrysler Conquest, take $1,000 cash back plus a $1,000 matching dealer incentive discount or 6/8 financing. Colt Premier, DL and E, take a $500 cash rebate or finance at 7/8 at your Anchorage Chrysler Import Car Center, 2601 East 5th.
When you see news happen, call Eyewitness News 11 at 561-5882.
Well, what's it gonna be, Joe?
Yeah. What's it gonna be, Joey?
I'm broke. All I've got left is my Alascom calling card.
With all the time and money you can save with the Alascom calling card, it's worth its weight in gold. Throw it in. You'll be well covered. Let's see where you're holding, man.
Hold up there, Louie.
Quality long-distance service isn't something you should gamble on. For your free calling card, call Alascom today.
A mix-up in labeling could have deadly consequences for owners of a guide to Alaskan plants. The publishers of Alaska Wilderness Medicines are recalling the guide from bookstore shelves because of an error on page 8. The edible plant Angelica has been incorrectly identified as water hemlock, and the caption under the deadly hemlock illustration reads Angelica.
The book, and they have pulled them off the shelves so that they can physically make corrections in the books. Any bookstore that is not serviced by a wholesaler in Alaska is receiving a rubber stamp and an errata sheet that explains what the mistake is, so that it will be slipped right into the book, and then the rubber stamp will be corrected right on the illustration.
The publishers are concerned that people who have already purchased the book may become confused. Alaska Wilderness Medicines is distributed throughout Alaska and the lower 48.
A new survey out tonight has some answers as to why Alaskan students score lower on tests than others across the nation. Poverty, language, and cultural differences are the biggest factors. As a result of the study, schools are looking at different ways of teaching English in the lower grades. It's also encouraging schools to put more emphasis on early childhood education. The survey was done to see if statewide testing should resume. It was dropped in 1985.
There are more women holding down jobs in Alaska than almost anywhere else in the nation. The Department of Labor says this is due in part to the younger average age of women in Alaska. It also developed a profile of Alaska women who are unemployed. They are generally white, between 25 and 34, with no children, and make less than $10,000 a year. The study also shows female unemployment rates in Alaska have been much lower than men's for the last 7 years.
The people of Anchorage are reaching out with their hearts and wallets to help a dying Soldotna woman. 59-year-old Karma Bodel needs a heart transplant to survive. She doesn't have the money to pay for the $150,000 operation. Yesterday, a local radio station, Power 102, began a 36-hour radiothon to help Karma raise the $50,000 deposit she needs. So far, $17,020 has been raised. If you would like to help Karma, you can call Power 102 and make a pledge, or you can deposit money in a bank account Power 102 has set up in Karma's name. Just stop by any NBA branch and make a donation.
For decades, National Bank of Alaska has helped preserve Alaska's precious past. NBA's Heritage Library and Museum has brought thousands of Alaskans closer to humankind's unique relationship with the North. And now, NBA is proud to help preserve a living link to Alaska's heritage, the Iditarod sled dog race. National Bank of Alaska, proud sponsor of the Iditarod and all that's Alaska.
Here are today's closing gold, silver, platinum, and palladium prices brought to you by Alaskan Precious Metals, your source for gold and silver American Eagles. Alaskan Precious Metals, 3230 C Street.
I think my ex-wife is cracking up.
It's a working relationship that's just not working.
How could you send the man I love up in a glass elevator when you know he's afraid of heights?
How could I know he's afraid of heights? He's so tall.
You!
A romance that just won't quit.
Hey, do you know what she did the third time we went out?
Do we ever?
Kathleen Turner, Burt Reynolds, Christopher Reeve, switching channels. Rated PG.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
We had the best of both worlds today. Snow this morning, sunshine this afternoon. It was wonderful.
If you weren't pleased by today's weather, then you can't be pleased, I tell you. We had a little bit of everything, including the clouds that wrapped up the day. We did end up with a temperature of 40 degrees for the high. 48 was the record set back in 1938, and last night's low still warm, 27 degrees. 19 below the record set back in 1956. Right now we have cloudy skies. The temperature has dropped to 37 degrees. The winds are out of the southeast at 12 miles per hour, and the barometer 29.75, humidity 57%. Sunrise tomorrow at 7:50, setting at 6:35 for a total of 10 hours and 45 minutes of daylight. And tonight in Anchorage we can expect mostly cloudy skies. There will still be some snow near the mountains. Winds will be out of the north to about 10 miles per hour, and a low temperature should be about 25 degrees. So those wet streets are going to be frozen tonight, and it will be a little bit slick, so do be careful. Going down to the lower 48, today brought some wintry weather to a lot of areas down there in Montana and parts of the Rockies. There was some snow falling there. It was fairly dry along the very west coast in Washington and Oregon. Southwest also very sunny and dry today, as were most of the northern central states, but it was not so dry for most of the central Gulf Coast region. From Texas on over almost to Florida, they reported thunder showers heavy in that area, and snow was continuing from southwest Texas all the way over through Illinois into the Pennsylvania area, following some cold fronts along that area and low pressure systems as well. Cooler temperatures are also back in the northeast, around freezing in fact. Today, Chicago reported a high temperature of only 31 degrees. 14 below was the cold spot. Last night, that was at International Falls, Minnesota. And today, a high temperature in New York went up to 50 degrees. It was 69 for Atlanta, 47 for both Denver and Dallas today. It went up to 76 in Miami today. A high temperature in the lower 48 today was reported in California, Palm Springs, in fact, at 85, and it went up to 51 degrees in Seattle. And don't go away, the Alaska weather's next.
Now at Sadler's, don't pay a dime for 6 months' time. That's August the 1st, and it's our most incredible no-payment offer ever. Check out the savings, and don't pay a dime on all our beautiful living rooms, dining rooms, dinettes, bedrooms, mattresses, and water beds. That's right. Don't pay a dime for 6 months' time, with no down payment, no monthly payments, and absolutely no interest until August. See our ads in the Anchorage Daily News. Offer starts Friday at Sadler's, Mountain View, and Sterling stores.
Well, if you're wondering where all that lovely weather originated today, it was the culprit, low-pressure system in Bristol Bay. It also had a frontal system stretching from Cape Newenham into the Talkeetna area. The accumulations were about a ½ an inch locally, but Eagle River and Girdwood unofficially reported about 4 inches of snow ending today, and Palmer only had a trace. There was that frontal system that was moving through. We got that stormy weather this morning, but it cleared to sunny skies and then went back to cloudy skies this afternoon. Today, Talkeetna reported about a 1/10 of an inch, and that's where the front is sitting right about now. That stormy weather was confined to most of the south central area between Turnagain and Eagle River. Most of that was along the mountains and right here in south central, right here in Anchorage. There was a lovely day in the interior, though, mostly sunny skies for most of the North Slope and the Arctic coast, although Barrow did report a little bit of foggy conditions there, and it was partly cloudy for both the Aleutians, most of the Alaska Peninsula, and the Panhandle today. The hot spot was at Annette at 44 degrees. -18 was a cold spot last night, and that was at Dead Horse. -5, the high temperature in Barrow. And today, Fairbanks, again, 39 degrees, and they had very nice sunny skies today. 25 degrees for Bethel, and 24 in Nome, went up to 33 for Coal Bay. In local temperatures, they're all in the 30s, 38 for Valdez and Kenai, going up to 40 degrees in both Anchorage and Seward. Tomorrow for Anchorage and the Matt Valley, snow is likely again, and winds should be out of the north at 10 miles per hour, a high temperature of 39. Pretty much the same for Kenai, with winds out of the northeast at 15 miles per hour, and Anchorage and the Matt Valley for Saturday, saying snow showers likely, a high temperature of 39, but it'll probably be rain or snow for the valley area.
So how does it look for the Iditarod? Any change at all?
Well, up there, they've got the sunnier conditions and warmer temperatures, so they're not
good.
Yeah, not too good.
Okay, thank you, Vicki. Ray?
The New York Mets coach starts things off with a bang. Joe Pratt will have that and more next in sports.
Try some fresh steamed broccoli this week, or green tender asparagus. And one of this week's specials, fresh cauliflower, a wonderful buy at Safeway, just 98 cents a pound. We also have delicious fresh from the vine red flame or Thompson white seedless grapes on special at just 89 cents a pound. When you think fresh fruits and vegetables, think Safeway in Alaska, home of the honest deals.
When you do it the best, Pioneer Honda, home of $99 down, does it again. The world's #1 quality car made in America, Honda. And now, an 88 four-door LX Accord loaded with equipment, $99 down and just $249 a month. The time is now for best selection on the value of the year. Honda, always 99 down. Always easy to trade at Pioneer Honda on Dowling across from DMV in Anchorage. See us now.
Stocks closed this way today. Marshall Davis Investment Bankers brings you these over-the-counter and penny stock prices. Marshall Davis, 3230 C Street.
Don't get caught without a spare. Western Optical is having a spare pair sale. Get 25% off your first complete pair of eyewear and 50% off the second pair. That's right. You receive 25% off your first pair of eyewear and 50% off your second pair. Hurry to Western Optical during their spare pair sale. Sale must end the last day of this month. Bank cards are welcome.
Okay, Joe Pratt is here with sports and it's the New Jersey
Nets, yeah.
Right.
Nets, Mets are close. I mean, it's not like getting them mixed up with the Celtics or something. Not bad. We'll get into that in just a moment because right now we just got an update that there's a winner now in the Yukon Quest sled dog race. It's Dave Monson who has led for most of the race. Monson pulled into Whitehorse this afternoon. It took him unofficially 12 days, 5 hours, and 6 minutes to complete the 1,000-mile race. Monson, as you probably know, is Susan Butcher's husband. Monson gets $20,000 first prize. Close on Monson's heels are Jerry Riley in second place right now and Kathy Swenson. In wrestling, the APU wrestling team is in Tacoma right now. Today was the first day of competition in the NAIA National Wrestling Championships. The APU team qualified 10 wrestlers to compete in the Nationals. 5 of those 10 are rookies in the national tournament. The other 5 have been here before. Sometimes a new coach can really turn a program around, but in 2 days, well, I know I'm being a little presumptuous maybe, but last night the New Jersey Nets played like a completely different team. It was the second game for Coach Willis Reed, and he directed the Nets, who have the worst record in the NBA, to a convincing win over the Boston Celtics, and this was being played in Boston Garden. The Nets won by 10, 117 to 107. Looking at the rest of today's scores, Philadelphia is currently behind against Chicago, 52 to 46 at the half. Portland and Phoenix are just getting underway. Now let's take a look at some of the best plays in the NBA during the month of February. Fats Lever, if we can get the videotape up there. Fats Lever looks like he can't decide whether to pass or shoot, so he just puts it in. Isaiah Thomas goes around the back, then puts up a spinning left-handed shot right in. Michael Jordan displays the hang time that he's so famous for. And then, talk about an off-balance shot, but it is from three-point range, and it goes right in. He banks it in. The first shot is missed right here, but then Dominique Wilkins is there to slam it through. Then an Isaiah Thomas again on the fast break. He gives a big alley-oop bounce pass to Sally, who feeds it to Rodman, who puts it in. Charles Jones has a great block shot. right there, and then they turn it around, turn it into a fast break, and Bernard King goes over his head, and they put it in for an easy layup. And here's something you only see once in a lifetime, a blocked shot on a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shot. And then talk about hustle, the same guy who blocks it gets down and makes the layup on the other end. And then if you're going to make four, make sure, well, we lost the tape there. But at any rate, those were the plays of the month for February. Let's take a look at college basketball scores this afternoon. In the top 20 action, number 2, Purdue, leading Wisconsin, 49-23 in the second. It's number 4, Oklahoma, lost to Missouri this afternoon in overtime, 93-90. Number 11, Iowa, leading Michigan State, 56-42 in the second half. A couple of the other games are just getting underway. The only other score that we have is North Carolina State, number 16, leading Maryland, 16-11. And in the NHL scoreboard this afternoon, several partial scores, no finals. Boston leads Toronto 3-1 in the third. Detroit with a lead over Minnesota in the third. It's Vancouver and Winnipeg all tied up in the second. Montreal with a slim 1-point lead over St. Louis in the second. And Philadelphia and Calgary, no score in the first.
So that was New Jersey Nets.
New Jersey Nets,
right.
Yes.
Okay.
I know they're confusing.
Yeah. And we got a winner in Yukon Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
really
really
so now everybody else starts to trickle in. Well, that'll take a couple, 3 more days for the rest of the populace.
Our own Iditarod starts Saturday.
Yes, and that's going to be exciting.
Exciting to see how Susan Butcher does now.
Yeah, what if they use some of the same dogs? Probably not. They'd
keep
be
them all in the family.
Out. Yeah.
I would think. Okay, thanks a lot, Joe. Kimberly?
Coming up next, a cheap way to win big money. Stay with us.
The Alyeska Ski Report, brought to you by Alyeska Ski Resort.
It's the best snow for skiing in Alaska in years. And now Safeway presents one of this year's best ski values, the Coca-Cola 6-pack ski card. With your 6-pack ski card, ski Alyeska 6 times, then the 7th time you'll ski for free. Stop by the Coca-Cola display or the photo sound department at your favorite Safeway and ski Alyeska today. It's the best snow for skiing in years and this year's best ski value. The Coca-Cola 6-pack ski card from Safeway.
Hi, everyone. This latest winter storm with high winds and heavy snow diminished Thursday afternoon and left lots of new powder as we head to the weekend. On the upper mountain, we have about 5 inches of new wind-blown powder and more than 2 feet of new snow this week. At mid-mountain, we have 4 inches of new wind-blown snow with the main runs groomed and a 160-inch base. And on the lower mountain, 2 inches of new damp snow on groomed spring runs and temperatures in the mid-30s. Don't forget the ski hotline at 783-2121 for all the current information.
Tonight's Alyeska Ski Report has been brought to you by Alyeska Ski Resort.
The legend of Acura. Its heart was born on the racetrack and its soul designed around the people inside. Road and Track magazine named it one of the 10 best cars in the world. Motor Trend made it 1987 Car of the Year, and its owners named it #1 in customer satisfaction. Right now, Acura of Anchorage is pricing these cars to sell. So hurry down, because the only thing missing from the legend of Acura could be you.
You'll find low prices on over 1,400 tools and accessories at your Fred Meyer Home Improvement and Garden Center. Whether you're working on a professional job or around the house, you can choose the tool that's exactly right.
You'll finish projects quicker with the Campbell Hausfeld 2-horsepower U.S. air compressor, now $339. And Magic Color Satin Plus paint is $9.99 a gallon. Luster Plus, $12.99 a gallon. And send for a $2 rebate on each of them during a 2-week sale at all Fred Meyer Home Improvement and Garden Centers.
Here's another look at some of tonight's top news stories. The FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, is ready to begin liquidating its holdings from failed Alaska banks. Nearly $245 million in commercial and private property will be dumped on an already suffering economy. Governor Steve Cooper signed the $75 million jobs bill into law today. Anchorage will get $26 million of that, and up to 200 jobs will be created locally. And finally, the EPA says drilling wastes from oil and gas production in Alaska should be exempt from federal hazardous waste requirements.
If you're good at guessing games or just like to gamble against the odds, has the Iditarod Trail Committee got a deal for you? For just $2, you can take your chances at winning $1,049. All you have to do is guess the right time the first musher will cross the finish line in Nome. The contest will help raise money to support the Iditarod race.
They have to guess the day, the number of days, hours, and minutes that the winner comes into Nome. The one closest to it without going over is the winner. That person will be awarded the prize of $1,049. Then the nonprofit organization, other nonprofits are selling these tickets besides Iditarod. The nonprofit organization that sells the winning ticket will get a share of what comes out of it, too, and the city of Nome will get a share of it for a summer recreation program they're having there.
The winner will get a round-trip ticket and hotel stay to see the start or finish of next year's race.
Elmendorf Air Force Base in Anchorage is losing a fighter squadron, but it's not made up of any of the new, sleek, modern F-15s, which will be staying in Alaska. The squadron that's leaving consists of older model training aircraft called T-33s, and today they had their last mission in our state. The T-33s are 30-something in age, and in the past, they've been the bad guys. That other aircraft that Elmendorf train against to polish off their fighter tactics. But this was the last training mission for this fleet of 9 T-33s and 20 pilots who will leave Alaska along with their planes.
This particular unit, we have 9 aircraft still assigned. There's about 30 maintenance people that they'll all be staying with the F-15 maintenance. And I have 20 people in my squadron that will be spread out to new fighter assignments.
That's 20 families that are leaving this.
Essentially, that's correct, right.
The planes themselves will be off to an aircraft storage area or aircraft graveyard in Arizona Monday.
The T-33 is an old airplane, and the older the airplane gets, the harder it is to get parts to keep it flying. Our maintenance folks here, however, have done an outstanding job keeping the airplane flying. But when the airplane is as old as it is, a lot of the production line for parts of the T-bird has been closed for an awful long time.
The Canadian Air Force is expected to take over the training role these old T-33s have held in the past. Those planes, I said they were 30-something in the age. Of course, the same age I am. They were like built in 1953 or something. 63, let's say.
I don't guess they, 63, yeah, boy. I don't guess they gave you a ride in one, though.
No, I suppose we could have had it, but if we had gone in the plane, we would have ended up in that graveyard in Arizona where they keep all the old airplanes, so we decided not to take it.
We don't want to make you end up there either, Ray.
Okay, thanks, Julie.
Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Have a good night.
KTVA's Eyewitness News has been brought to you by your new Anchorage Chrysler Dodge Car and Truck Center, 2601 East 5th.
For decades, National Bank of Alaska